Hi there. I'm going to talk about a new bulb I saw that was released by Philips and is compatible with the Philips Hue system. This is it here on the left, and one of the nice things about it is it's available for $15 or $14.99 US. That's before tax if you live in a place that has tax. And that's a nice, less expensive price point. Now, of course, you can buy LED light bulbs now, for $2, $3 or even less if they're on sale. But, when you end up with a connected bulb, there's always a premium on top of that. So, Philips originally released the Hue system several years ago with color-changing bulbs. The bulbs are very expensive at about $60 each, and they haven't come down in price since that system was released. And a few years later, which was maybe, two and a half years ago maybe, they released the Philips Lux. And this looks like a regular Hue light bulb, and it is connected to the Hue base, but it's white only. And one of the nice things about this particular bulb is it has a pleasing 2700K light color and is also rated at 750 lumens, so it's pretty bright. It's definitely a lot brighter than the color changing bulbs when they're just set to a white color. It was released at $30, so it was a lot cheaper than those color ones at $60, so that was a nice change. Good quality construction, glass and everything. And I have several of these and they work very well. And one of the key features about these that I really like is they get very dim. You can have them at full brightness and then you can ramp it all the way down to just a very, very, very dim light, which of course uses pretty much almost no electricity. There are several other bulbs for the Philips Hue system that are compatible, and they're made by different brands. GE is one, Cree, I think TCP, and there may be a couple others now. Now, of course, the white bulbs from these other manufacturers have had the price point of $15, so it's nice to see that Philips has finally released their own in that price range. So as you can see with this one, 800 lumens, single bulb. This costs $15. Of course, it uses Zigbee, which is what the Philips Hue system uses. Looks like this is nothing interesting there. Single bulb, 2700 Kelvin, dimmable. Of course, you can't put this in a dimmable, in a socket that's controlled by a dimmer, because this needs to be on all the time, and you use your phone or some software to control the bulb otherwise. The usual here, E26, 2500 hours, instant on. I guess it's rated for 50,000 cycles, on-off cycles. And it's rated at 9.5 watts. Zigbee is 2.4 gigahertz. And it runs on 110 to 130 volts. So sorry, this is not compatible with anyone outside of the country. It does run on 50 hertz, so I guess you could change the voltage. Anyhow, it requires Hue bridge, of course. That's so you can control it. And yeah, there's not much else on here. 9.5 watts. Alright, so let's take a look at this bulb inside here. I'll use the knife here to open this. Alright, so there's the bulb, there's the paperwork. That's it, plastic. Onto the bulb. Plastic, so definitely lighter than the other one, weight-wise, because this has a metal base here and it's glass on the top. This one definitely is plastic and plastic. So you would wonder if this is going to be as durable as the other one, but I think this one the Lux was rated at the same 25,000 hours. So I think, Philips basically stands by both of these bulbs. That reminds me, I don't remember seeing a warranty on here. Okay, so I wanted to know a little bit about the warranty for the bulb, so I'm looking here and I found the warranty on this paperwork here. So essentially, they'll limit the device that is free from defects for 2 years, up to 3 hours a day, 7 days a week. Wow, that's pretty crappy. Pretty sure the other Philips Hue bulbs were 5-year warranties, and obviously they can't really prove like the amount of hours you use, although maybe it's possible with these, since there's a microcontroller in them, maybe it counts the hours. But anyhow, and in case anyone else is wondering as well, don't use it in closed fixtures. Indoor use only. So yeah, you know, pretty much as expected. It's not designed for enclosed fixtures. First of all, I have a lamp here, and I'm going to turn it on. We'll screw it in, of course, and then turn it on. And we're going to see what the light looks like. All right, nice and instant on. And let's try and do a test of the flicker by putting this very close to the camera. All right, so you see there's slight banding going on here because this camera is recording at 60 frames per second, and this light bulb is running on our 60 hertz mains. So that's you know, not too bad. It's absolutely invisible to my human eyes. Let's just do a comparison to the other bulb. Let the camera readjust. We're going to put this Philips Lux in, which remember was twice as expensive. Alright, well, as you can see, Philips Lux absolutely has no flicker. And I think that's pretty much indicative of this bulb type. Philips also sells standard bulbs that are in this shape, you know, that aren't controllable wirelessly, and they are also excellent bulbs with really good performance. Currently I have the Philips Lux bulb in this light fixture here, facing down on top of my light meter here. Now I know you can't read what it says here, but I have my phone controlling the bulb here, so I can turn it off and on, and I can adjust the brightness. So currently I have it at the minimum brightness. And of course, the numbers I'm going to take, you know, readings of are just so we can compare the two bulbs. Okay, that's all. So currently, I have the bulb at minimum brightness, and I'm reading 35 lux. Okay, so at the minimum brightness, I'm measuring 35 lux. And if we turn this all the way up to the maximum brightness, I'm currently getting 2,440 lux, and I did have to change the range setting on my meter here. So that's a pretty good dynamic range, I would say. Like I said earlier, the Lux bulb gets very dim, and I'm really curious to see how well the new Philips bulb performs. Okay, so now I have the new Philips bulb, the $15 one, installed into the socket. I didn't move anything around, so it should be relatively similar, the readings. Now interestingly, we're at full brightness now, and this bulb is giving me 2130 lux. And remember, the other bulb was giving me 2440 at the exact same configuration. Although, I do have to say, this has quite a different envelope here, and it may just be that this cheaper bulb sends more light out the sides than this one does, or the other directions, you know, and less straight up this way. But that can account for this type of dimmability. This type of reading being lower than the other, even though this is rated at 50 lumens higher. But lumens is a measurement of the total light output of the entire bulb, and I'm only measuring light output from the bulb here down to the sensor in this one area, not the whole bulb's light output out of the sides and other things. So that's why it's less. It looks equally as bright to my eyes, but humans are pretty bad at judging brightness. So what I really want to know is how dim this bulb gets. So let's turn it all the way down to the minimum brightness. All right, so I'm currently reading 26 lux versus 2130. Okay, so I've done some calculations. And as a side note, I'm currently running the new cheap bulb at about 25% brightness. And you can see banding in the camera here. I absolutely can't see any flicker whatsoever with this bulb with my eyes, but there's obviously some type of high frequency component here that's causing that, and it kind of comes and goes. Anyways, so because it's a minimum of 35 lux, maximum of 2440, I divide those two, I got 69.7 to 1 as the ratio here. And the new bulb has a minimum of 26 and a maximum of 2130, so 81.9. Now, of course, this is just some mathematics on a page and has nothing to do with how our eyes perceive brightness. Our eyes are not linear with their brightness response and all that. So I wouldn't say that these numbers mean a lot. But what they do say is that the new bulb can get a bit dimmer than the other one when compared to its maximum brightness. Although, because its maximum brightness is less, at least the way I measured it, it's a little bit less of a difference. But anyways, nonetheless, I would say to my eyes, they both appear to get as dim as each other. They're both about the same, which I'd say is pretty darned good. That's one of my complaints with my other bulbs. They just don't get dim enough. And essentially, in a room, say you want to set the scene for like a movie night, you just want to have really dim lighting. Some of my other bulbs, they just don't get dim enough. Like even on their minimum brightness, they're still pretty bright. And I'd say that Philips has won the day when it comes to the brightness. This old one was great, and this new one is just as good. So, I mean, it's great. It's nice that the bulb is $15. I wish it was a bit better quality. I wish it had less flicker. But ultimately, it is half the price. You could buy 2 of the new bulbs for the price of this. And compared to the competitor bulbs, which are also $15, I'm going to say I would be happy to buy more of these Philips bulbs over the other ones because the dimmability, that dynamic range you can get, is definitely worth it to me. So there we go. The new Philips Hue white bulb. I'd say thumbs up on that. And thumbs up if on my video if you found this interesting at all. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.